are you today? So this is the second portion of our Deaf Creator Spotlight. Um, and so today, what we're gonna be talking about is three creators who I think really have done a lot for promoting sign language inclusivity and like integrating sign language into their content. And I think that's really cool because of just a cultural eradication that has been done through sign language. And so preserving it in that way, in quote unquote American history at least, and so preserving it in that way is really important in my opinion. And the way that they have completely different mediums in which they go about it as well. So we're going to look at an ASL instructor, we're going to look at a comedian, and we're going to look at a apparel company, like a clothing company, and look at merch. So we'll look at those three ways, and I'll show you how I think that's important. Also, I am streaming for you live during Hurricane Francine in New Orleans. It is just a category one, but if I do lose power, um, or something happens with this stream, or my internet goes out, um, that's what happened. It's just during a hurricane right now. So, but we'll see if I can bang this out because we still got a couple of hours till we're supposed to get the worst of it, I think. So yeah, back in. All right, I'm gonna roll my intro, and then we're gonna get this bit started. Hi, my name is Lexie, aka Deaf Child. I'm born deaf, hard of hearing. My team was one of the top teams between 2020 and 2024 in New Orleans and Louisiana. I began doing business as Deaf Child in 2013, marketing 2011, and sales 2009. I've earned 50 plus certifications in marketing and sales, and I have my Bachelor of Science from Loyola University, New Orleans, with a music industry studies major and a business administration minor. Visit my site at noladeafchild.com. Alright, so first up, I wanted to talk to you about Jason Gervase. I don't remember if I said the three names of the people we're discussing today, but oops, my bad, wrong button. Who we are talking about today is Jason Gervase, who is an ASL instructor. We're talking about Griffin, who's a comedian, and we're talking about Girl and Creativity, which is a deaf-owned merchandise company. So yeah, I highly recommend that. So first off, we have Jason Gervase here. And Jason Gervase, he is our ASL instructor. He is a professor and a traveler. This is a deaf creator spotlight, so everybody is deaf that I'm showing you here. Um, and so what I like about him is he has a mixed content here. So he shows you like his travels. He'll show you like his day-to-day things. And then he also mixes that in with educational content. So let me show you his Finger Spelling Friday highlights just real quick. And so here he's showing with the new year, he's going to start something new, Finger Spelling Friday, and he's going to finger spell a word at 3 different speeds. And so the deaf, we read very fast. And so then there's medium. It went away. It went away. And so here's another Finger Spelling Friday where he's saying today there's going to be doing a lexicalized sign. And he's going to finger spell in 3 speeds, deaf, medium, and slow. He said deaf for fast, deaf speed. And so, you can see he does like Finger Spelling Friday to help people practice and improve their finger spelling, for example. And that's just one of many ways that he integrates sign language into his content here. And so he does a mix of telling stories, and he's just great to follow because you get a mix of like deaf lifestyle experience as well as sign language education. So Yeah, fucking, he's great to learn from. I highly recommend checking out his posts and his reels available. We have him on Instagram. I also am following him on TikTok. The links to these are obviously, of course, linked in the description of this video. Um, and so he's got even more playlists on his TikTok. And he's got everything from jokes, to like kind of like tongue twisters, but in sign language, Um, but then he's got like deaf awareness, like everything, kind of sign language, culturally related. And then he also shows his experience traveling in the deaf community. Um, and so I think it's really fun to follow because you get to see just the evolution of sign language through him because he explains a lot about sign language. And then, you get also just like a balance between that advanced learning through sign and seeing deaf culture in action. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I highly recommend giving him a follow. Um, and fucking, he also has a website, ASL Pinnacle. Right now, he is promoting level 1A classes for beginners for fall 2024. For those of you that are watching this as it is released. So today is September 11th, 2024, and you got 2 days left to register if you do want to register for his aslpinnacle.com/L1A. That's where you can register for the fall 2024 class. But because that's going to end in 2 days, I went ahead and I linked to his regular website URL. And so you can learn American Sign Language with ASL Pinnacle here, who we've just been discussing. Um, I am assuming that he needs help with marketing, perhaps, because I don't think this should say this. I know he's had students, I know he's done classes and things like that. So I think this is a matter of the website not being developed appropriately yet. But I love the colors, I love the branding, I love the direction it's going. Okay, it's by Raz Codes. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to look into this later because I think I just might have found out about another deaf owned. If I'm assuming that this is probably deaf owned, and if so, I need to look into them. I'm gonna do that in another live stream, and I need to add them to my deaf owned marketing agency list. And if they started before me, I'll have to change and release some corrections to some wordings that I've been using for myself. That's a whole different conversation. So I'm gonna have to go look back into them. Anyway, but check out ASL Pinnacle, and check out Jason Gervase. You'll be able to learn sign language, get one-on-one tutoring, pick different courses to start. You got remote learning, and so yeah, highly recommend him. Next up in our little discussion today, we've got the mailman Griffin, Curtis Griffin. He is a comedian. He is hilarious. So he does a lot of parody. He does a lot of advocacy when it comes to deaf issues, deaf content, and deaf awareness, informing of, and sometimes he will do a lot of work where he will definitely, in my opinion, do a lot of work with informing, hearing people of deaf issues, right? Through his posts. But then sometimes what I like, the reason a lot of deaf do follow him is because we get to a point where we're just like, y'all suck. So he just makes fun of the shit that we go through. And from the lens of the deaf perspective regarding how I'm hearing are processed. And I really enjoy his humor. So let's look at this pen post real quick to see what I mean. So here we've got deaf hearing. Hearing's teaching the wrong sign. And then the deaf, and it's like, I don't even know, are these bears? It's got the deaf one, the deaf bear, pushing the hearing bear, teaching the wrong sign language off of the edge of this like concrete thing. Um, so, that's why deaf follow him, because it both shows how we are sick of certain things. Like if you're paying attention, you get the knowledge. Wow, giving us deaf our own place to laugh about what we've been going through in a way that's inclusive. And a lot of hearing people, they will make fun of deaf people in a way that's exclusive or that's harmful to us. And then they try to claim it's inclusivity, and they don't include deaf people at all. And they're just laughing about how they oppress us, right? Which is, and they don't get how that's discrimination. Versus when a deaf person is making fun of the discrimination we go through, that is a coping mechanism. And I think a lot of people don't get the difference between a coping mechanism and a defense mechanism when it comes to humor. They will use humor as an excuse to discriminate and then claim it's a coping mechanism for them. But if you're the oppressor, you have nothing to cope from. You know what I'm saying? And so there's also something, there's a difference between the human, like a joke about the human condition, which all humans go through, versus a lived experience you're not a part of. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But yeah, but what I really love about his humor is, is it makes me feel like there's just like a safe place for me to be like, okay, I'm not going to go here and have to worry about hearing people forcing their perspective on me, because I can go watch this content. I know it's going to be deaf friendly. I know it's going to be fucking hilarious, and I'm not gonna get triggered. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, I highly recommend. That's another reason, in my opinion, to definitely be including deaf representation. Um, and so yeah, fucking he does a lot of jokes about scenarios. Um, a lot of it is deaf hearing focused, but not all of it is deaf jokes. He does joke about other shit too. Um, I just don't watch enough of his content to be able to pick that out immediately. But I think this might be one. So it's that simple thing. If people don't match your energy, leave them alone. Don't waste your time on them. Yeah, so this one isn't a joke, it's just a post, but hey, you know what? I like that sentiment. We're gonna like it. Um, and so yeah, fucking I highly recommend giving him a follow and supporting him. And yeah, I wonder if he'll be doing any shows soon. And so in his Instagram bio also, well, not only does it go to this Convo link, which Convo is a virtual relay system for deaf people, it also goes to an ASL Bloom app. And if you click that, this takes you to either an app or a little website link where you can learn some ASL. You can start with your greetings, get some ABCs in, your finger spelling. So I highly recommend giving this a check. It's just some basic shit, but hey, man, like every little bit helps. And yeah, I just highly recommend giving it a look. And so that is at app.aslbloom.com. And I found this because of the mailman Curtis Griffin promoting it on his fucking Instagram. I was just there and I'm blanking on the word. And so yeah, he makes parody videos. In his bio, he says, "Stop duetting me and correcting me." Because he's usually making fun of them people, and so yeah, fucking people don't know how will take his jokes a little too seriously sometimes. Um, and so yeah, fucking right here, he is just really good. Oh, right here he's got some glasses where it says "Hear View," one of the coolest toys for deaf people to use for accessibilities. Um, and so he's showing how the caption on the
going
glasses
up against
the
2020.
And then he gets an official transcript with hearing view glasses. So that's cool too. And I think I know it's not my place to speak on this, but I also really appreciate, that like in deaf community and any and all representation in mainstream media, a lot of what you see is very whitewashed. So with deaf comedians, in my opinion, that can be the same as well. And so, yeah, to be honest, like off the top of my head, the Mailman Griffin, for example, would be the only black deaf comedian I know of. Like, I know of like deafies and drags, or I know of like some deaf guy who would be white, or I know of like, um, what is it? I'm blanking on the name, but I think I put them in my agenda to cover. Um, I'm like, let me pull this up because you know what? Now it's bugging me that I don't remember the name. But there's a let's see. Now I'm wondering if it's problematic because I think I did a whole nother um on deaf. The flip side show. Okay, it's Deaf Entertainment Hollywood. All right, the flip side show. So I can think of like a lot of deaf music comedians. I could think of I blank on them, but in my head I can picture them, but I can blank on their names. Um, so yeah, in my head I just feel like there's not enough space, and I'm not the person to truly be speaking on this issue, but there's got to be more um, opportunities for people to have representation. And so it's great to see the mailman Griffin out doing his fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that was a correct thing in hindsight to be wording or speaking on, or if I'm problematic. Uh, Probably problematic. I'm probably problematic. But yes, anyway, go follow the mailman Griffin. And I'm gonna move on before I say something else I don't like. But fucking yeah, he's awesome. Next up, our last little creator here today, we've got Girl and Creativity. So Girl and Creativity, deaf owned, I believe Latina owned. Um, Deaf Awareness Month content coming out. She does a balance of sharing deaf awareness, but she also does a lot of deaf positivity, and they do a lot of designs with American Sign Language included in the designs, and they show these things on different items in their store, like shirts, hoodies, stickers, and things like that, and cups. And so, yeah, you can shop at this deaf owned business, and I really like their branding. I like how they have a consistent style, but everything is also different at the same time as well. Um, I love the aesthetic of the visual illustrations because it's it kind of reminds you of like if that 70s show aesthetic um combined with like a Lisa Frank aesthetic, combined with like a Van Warped Tour aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? Um, if that makes sense to me. I don't know if that was like way off, but that's kind of how I see it. Um, but yeah, so they're deaf owned and they do release something new every week. And what I like about them is even though they release something new every week, it's always very good quality to me in my opinion, in terms of the representation for deaf community and in terms of the visual and yeah, and I like how they do a balance of like positivity, but I don't find it toxic because it'll say things like, hey, it's okay to cry, and it'll say smile more, but also, hey, okay, and you can choose, and I feel like it's just about grounding yourself. You know what I'm saying? And this one says turn the page, and it's just good finger spelling practice. Um, and I just really like the way, and this one says take your time with a snail. It's cute. I like the way that it all matches up. This one says it's okay, but the O is an I love you sign. And they do a lot of finger spelling, incorporate a lot of sign language. And I don't see, sometimes they do a lot of finger spelling as their go-to, but then every now and then they also incorporate sign language itself in other forms through the hand movements and the design. I know they've done it before. I'm just not seeing it right now. But I'm gaslighting myself. I know it fucking exists, damn it. Anyway, okay, I'm sorry. Fucking now I'm just scrolling until I find one that I'm talking about. But life is hard. Living la vida loca. Why am I like this? Okay. I'm about to give up. But I swear to fucking God, sometimes they do other signs too that's not just finger spelling, I think. Now I feel gaslit. But also, I do believe that they are using Canva for their designs because I am spotting a lot of Canva fonts. And I know a way you can make the Gallaudet font look like similar to what they're doing in some of these. But I also think also in other though, this isn't how the Gallaudet font looks. So I know that they're also doing their own visual illustrations. I wonder if they're using a mix of both or if they're just doing their own illustrations with the design. I'm not trying to, I'm just curious, because I know a lot of this is definitely their own digital illustration. That's not, but then some of this, I'm like, could it be? But then I'm like, no, because that's not. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to get off of this now. All right, so they are also on TikTok, and on TikTok you get more of the real experience, and in here you get a little bit more of the detail of behind the scenes. You get to see how she packages stuff. You get to see the family life. She tells more stories. You also get a little bit more details about like the discounts and things like that, in my opinion, from the visual. And it's cool just to be able to see the behind the scenes of their production as well. And I highly recommend giving them a follow. Deaf on Business ASL with apparel and accessories. And that's Grow and Creativity. And I'm following them on Instagram and TikTok. And both of those are linked in the description of this video. Um, Girl and Creativity also has a website, and I really like their website too. Um, One thing I will say where they put hurry, popular items are selling fast. I feel like if you want to create a sense of urgency, what I would change there personally, where my marketing mind is going, would be to integrate the fact that you have new items weekly. So, also, with that comes to mind, you have to also phase things out, right? And so you should keep, I would say, instead of popular items sell fast, because that people know that, I would say what people aren't going to know already, unless they've been looking into you, which would be, um, I'd have to simplify this. I'm thinking off the top of my head, so this is shit wording. But I would say something to the effect of, and you could leave some of this in or take some of it out. Um, New designs weekly, um, older designs get phased out, or something that lets people know these designs don't last forever, even though more are coming. So get it while it's good, because you never know how long it's going to be there. You know what I'm saying? So when you combine that urgency with the scarcity, then people have a reason to buy, right? But if you just go urgency without giving people a reason, sometimes people perceive that as false scarcity and they won't buy because they'll be like, fuck that. I'm just saying. Um, but yeah, fucking for example, the most so I sold more merchandise whenever my merchandise was going out of stock because my supplier decided to stop doing print on demand drop shipping, and I sold more of that merch when the supplier was going out of stock than when I launched my merch. And I did way more marketing for the merch line when I launched it. But it wasn't until I was like, okay, this shit's not gonna be here anymore, so get it now, or I'll try to put it out, but I don't know if I can, but I'm gonna try. And so that's when people are like, oh, okay, I want to make sure I get this just in case I can't get it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I'm saying like how from my lived experience, that's what I see. And I also like they even have like little blocks for like that deaf representation with toys too. I think that's adorable. And the key importance also with supporting deaf creators is like I've been saying is a lot of the deaf representation, especially with regards to ASL, is hearing people appropriating us or speaking over us, right? Or discriminating against us and not letting us have autonomy or speak for ourselves. So the supporting deaf people on deaf issues, particularly when it comes to shopping with deaf people, is super important for our deaf autonomy, in my opinion. So yeah, fucking So just to wrap this shit up, today we've talked about 3 badass people that I really hope you follow. We've talked about Jason Gervase, who teaches ASL. We've talked about Curtis Griffin, who is an amazing comedian. And we've talked about Girl in Creativity, who makes some really gorgeous designs for clothes and other apparel and accessories. So I think you should give all 3 a follow because it's important to deaf community to immerse yourself into deaf culture to understand our way of thinking, and it alleviates income disparity by doing your part to financially contribute, if you can, to the deaf creators that you feel aligned with. Um, and yeah, we've also covered how I think I'm possibly problematic with my reflection on uh, representation of social issues, particularly when I was speaking about Curtis Griffin. I think I'm problematic when what I was speaking on there. I need to process that more, right? But even if I had good intentions, impact, intent, right? I'm trying to think of how I'd feel if it was like white people without native ancestry speaking on native ancestry, or hearing people speaking on being connected to a deaf person, right? Or I don't know. But yeah, so because in some ways, right, you want that people to advocate for you and to promote you, but in other ways, it's like, is that inspiration porn? Are you being weird? And you're not doing this weekend, right? I don't know, right? So that's another thing to marinate. So in this live stream, we're also reflecting on in the moment, how are we problematic, even if we don't want to be? Um, what the fuck? Why does this captioner say that? I didn't say that, captioner. I didn't say you're not doing this weekend. I said in the I don't know what I said when that put that there, but what I was trying to say is we can be in reflection. I can be problematic even when I don't want to be. Is what I was trying to say. All right, fuck. I hate that captioner. Anyway, that's why I use 2. I'm like, because sometimes they're both wrong, and I'm like, fuck. But sometimes if one's wrong, the other's right, and I'm like, all right, they'll figure it out. Um, so I said, fuck this thing. I hate this damn thing. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna leave. But please go give these creators a follow. The links are in the description of this video. And thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you. I hope you have a great day. And yeah, bye. Thanks for watching. Join the loyalty program at noladeafchild.com/loyalty and check in during live streams to get points for rewards.